Good evening and welcome to Paranormal Path Peeps. And tonight I'm speaking to Caroline McKendrick-Gibson.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. It's been a bit of a weekend really because I did lose a friend who used to host with at Derby Jail, and sort of want to send my thoughts out to everybody who knew Peter Sugden and particularly Gina and his friends and family as well. It is, we do what we do, don't we? But when we sort of lose somebody, it is a great loss. And also to anybody who visited the jail, they would have met him and, would have heard his stories as well. And it is, it's so sad, isn't it? And it's
Very
just got,
sad when we lose somebody. Yeah, definitely.
that's
So
right.
I'm sending love to Gina as well. I hope you're doing okay, sweetie.
Yeah. Oh, it's just so, it's such a hard one. And you just have to deal with things the best way you can. There is no right or wrong way with grief. And you just got to be kind to yourself, haven't you?
Mhm.
It's a difficult one. But yeah, we sort of do the paranormal and we meet a lot of people on our journey, don't we?
We
And
certainly do. And some of those people touch your lives and stay forever, don't they?
well, that's right. I met Peter about 10 years ago.
Mm.
It's quite incredible. And, we do meet a lot of people in the community, don't we? And, you have a lot of experiences, a lot of memories, which, you just have them lasting with you, don't you?
You certainly do.
But yeah. So say a big shout out to Mason. Thanks for watching us. So we always start basically sort of asking where it all started for you. So what was the first time you actually considered that something out of the ordinary was happening?
So my parents bought this Victorian house in Weymouth, and it was 4 floors. And when we moved in, I think I was about 10, around that kind of age, and things basically started happening as soon as we moved in, odd things. And at 10, I've probably got a good grasp on what was normal to happen around me. And I'd never experienced anything like the things that were happening. So, yeah, it was a little bit strange.
Wow. So did you sort of mention it? Did your family experience it?
So my dad, he's a staunch atheist, and anything that goes bump in the night doesn't happen. I don't think
Yeah.
he believes in a great deal, any kind of spirit, not even out of the bottle. He's very straight-laced, my dad. My
Right.
mum, on the other hand, she's a very religious Catholic. She was brought up. So you've got one atheist and one religious trying
Wow.
to approach both of those. And for my sins in my previous life, they sent me to a convent. And before you laugh, go on, get it out in the open.
I didn't
I
know
went to
that
a
one.
convent.
That's too funny.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, because you know me personally, Jackie. I guess it's probably even funnier.
Yeah.
So who can I go to? Who could I ask these questions about things that were happening? So
Yeah.
yeah, and it's not until recently that my mum actually opened up and told me that she used to see a Victorian lady very regularly in full Victorian costume. So she did actually see stuff, and yeah, thank you, Helena. She laughed as well. Yes, we won't go into too much of that.
Gin Gin.
Yeah. So, yes, having confessed that she saw a female on a regular basis in the house, that really kind of cemented everything that I thought I'd experienced as a youngster. I mean, the things that I did experience, it was in company of other people who were in the house a lot of the time.
Wow.
Sometimes it wasn't, but my mum did experience some things with me, and it was a nursing home, and we had staff who used to wander around and they experienced stuff, especially the cook down in the kitchen as well.
Wow. Yeah, but nursing homes do have a lot of history sort of to them, don't they? They
It
really
was
do.
It was a four-floored previous boarding house, so it
Oh,
was for
wow.
destitute people as well. So it went back through to Victorian times, where when it wasn't a house for a home for people living in, it was a boarding house. So obviously it came with its own problems from back then as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because there is so much energy, there's a lot of emotion, and yeah, you're sort of going to get that, I believe, sort of later on, aren't you? And yeah, you did. And also, with it being so large as well, there's a lot of people who've sort of been into the building and everything, haven't they? So yeah.
Yeah, especially up in the attic area that my brother and I used to sneak up to and see if we could
Oh,
light a candle and call out. Even at 10, you knew this is what they did in seances kind of thing, and you'd sneak upstairs and try and dare each other who could sit in the top kitchen for the longest amount of time and without, running away crying down the back servant stairs. It was a huge place, really huge.
wow, that's incredible. I bet there's parts, you could be in one room and really not hear any of the other rooms. So, did
Mm.
you actually go into the rooms on? Well, you would have gone into the rooms on your own, but would you have called
Yeah.
out on your own?
Probably not. No,
No.
no,
Yeah,
no,
it's
definitely
an
not.
interesting story. Like everybody's got their own stories, and yeah, it's incredible. Like you sort of being sort of dealing with that at such a young age. It is sort of an interesting one. Oh, who won, you or your brother?
Um, I think it was a tie, to be honest with you. I think that as soon as one of us spooked, the other one joined in and we both ran out. But
Yeah,
yeah, particularly the kitchen up on the top floor, which would have been the servants' quarters all those years ago. So it was under the
yeah.
eaves. Very, very eerie up there.
Wow, that's incredible. And
Mm.
so, what happened then? Where did you go from there then? Because
Well,
it was earlier than sort of public events were on as well, isn't it? People didn't do
yeah,
that in those days, did they really?
no, so we moved to a different house. Although my parents still owned it and we kept it, we moved to a different house so that we had a private place to have for family,
Yeah,
um, away from the nursing home. But the nursing home was still in there, they still owned it, and my mum and dad still worked in there. So I used to pop back occasionally, and as I grew up, things still would happen. And when I visited, so my first port of call was, well, my mum got a priest in who threw holy water over me like they always do and said, "You're a devil child." Kind of got that one
wow,
a little bit right. But yeah, so hoping that I would burst into flames in good old horror film styly, I think that's what he'd hoped that I would do, and just made things a lot worse. So
wow.
I decided not to put my faith in the Catholic Church when I was looking for more answers. So my first introduction really into the paranormal to find answers was through the spiritual church, because I wanted
Interesting.
somebody who might know answers, and I was directed down that route by a psychic medium who my mum was friends with at the time. So I just thought, well, they're not based on religion, but they are. Um,
Yeah, that's
in a
right.
different way kind of thing. So I had hoped
Yeah,
that I would find answers that way.
that's intriguing. Yeah, you certainly had sort of the contrast, didn't you? With
Yeah.
faith and not faith, and then you sort of gone like right in, well, in a way, right in the middle, haven't you?
And I haven't burst into flames despite all the rumours.
Oh, that's sort of, yeah, that's brilliant. And so, when did you start thinking about going out investigating? How did that start?
So I think that must have been around about 2010, because I wanted to know, maybe 2009, I wanted to know more answers. And rather than asking a spiritual church or somebody down that realm, I thought, well, why can't I go and find the answers out myself? Sorry, what was that? He threw holy water on you.
Yeah, Helena says he
Yeah.
threw holy water on, and yeah, her friend's mum did the same. So,
Oh,
because to
crikey.
see spirits, you're not allowed to see spirits, are you?
No, allegedly not. So, yes, I thought I'd start looking into investigating myself so that I could, be in control of what I learned and how I dealt with things. But it was a group that was already established that I joined at the time, and they were great. They used to do a lot of stuff, but they weren't on the same path as me.
That's
So
right.
I split my own way and did my own group with some people who wanted to find out things differently in a little bit more of a scientific way. So that's how
Right.
I've ended up where I am. Completely one end of the realm to the other, really, isn't it? Now looking at things
Yeah.
more scientifically.
Scientific route. It is interesting because everybody does sort of they start and then they think no, they need to go a different way, and I sort of
Yeah.
am in that now. I started questioning certain things about how I do things, and for
Mm.
me at the moment, it's not working, and I need to look at it. To be fair,
Hmm.
I need to work out new methods, things like that, what suit me. And
Yeah,
yeah, I
definitely.
think it's just recently, yeah, I've just started to question things and yeah,
I think we've got a lot more people who are interested in going back to the old version of how we used to investigate in seances and old scientific methods years ago. And the old-fashioned way is the best, sitting with a notepad and pen and listening
yeah,
and just recording. And Barry, proud to be paranormal Barry, he
yeah,
he's going down the Victorian investigating side. So
yeah,
it
that's
seems to be
right.
something that people are trying to find out more. And if you keep your investigations cleaner and a little bit more methodical and scientific, and if people are trying to kind of ask what is scientific, as long as you can base it on a set of scientific principles and you can repeat it and then you can measure the results that you get, then obviously then that makes it a little bit more scientific. So
Yeah, but you haven't got a controlled lab, and that's the problem, isn't it? You can try
no.
and do it as scientific as possible, but you've got
Mhm.
different things happening around you all the time.
You can't
Different
really do it
energies
in
of
a
people.
yeah, you
It'd be
can't do
nice
it
if you
in a
could.
controlled lab.
Yeah, it'd
You
be
can't
nice
pick
if
up.
you. Yeah, because everything like the variables keep changing all the time.
Yeah,
It's
which is
fascinating, isn't it?
why we need to be really on the ball of what it is that happens when you do have a paranormal thing that happens, an experience. What happens? Does EMF spike? Does it drop? Does air pressure spike? Does it drop? If you
Yeah,
start getting into the realms of looking at this, it should lead you on to the right questions to help you to develop. Currently, Andy Guy and our team, we're working on creating new equipment, and we're finding that um, background radiation is what spikes with us, and it drops when we have
wow.
things happening. So we're going down building equipment for that, but air pressure is the main thing that we found. Forget your cold spots, forget your hot spots. I've never found it necessarily to be accurate, but when you've
No, I
got
don't.
all of your earthly bits and pieces that are being checked at time, you've got your temperature, you've got your humidity, air pressure, even down to your background radiation, and you should start being able to get some really good information data logged to help push forward for the investigating side of the paranormal. So keep your fingers
Yeah,
crossed, we might have answers.
that's it. Welcome, Michaela. Thanks for joining us. Always said it's best to take your own path and do what's best for you, whatever makes you happy. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like life is too short, isn't it? And sort of realise that, and you're reminded at times. Michaela, I love the idea of pressure being the thing to look into. Now, I'm actually finding that Andy Guy's devices, I've actually got most of them. I just can't help myself. So he designs science-based kit, doesn't he, on science, air pressure, as we said, like change of temperature, also like movement, it picks up movement, things like that, and they're brilliant. But I don't think whatever is around us is interacting with it the way we expect it to. So
This
I
is
don't think the air pressure is changing all the time when the lights keep changing on the device.
no, which is why we've got other instrumental reading equipment at the same time. So if this is where you try to make it measurable and you try to make it repeatable, you have multiple devices, and one should interact with the other. But we were getting air pressure spikes, literally like a wave, and we were watching the visual output on Andy's equipment, and then we had a drop in the radiation behind us, and you can see the wave of the air pressure that was coming in, and it's just like, right, something's about to happen, because you can see it spike, and then you turn around and see the equipment behind me here, which is where I put the radiation monitor. And I've also got another monitor that's permanently here that he leaves now to plug in. So, excuse me, disappearing. I've got other equipment that's here 24/7. So obviously it's constantly being updated. So if I find that I have an incident happens, I can go back, look at the cameras, see if anything's on the cameras, and then go to the other bits of equipment and see if I can pull off the graphs and attach that onto the log as well. So we've,
That's fascinating. Yeah.
24 hours being monitored downstairs.
That's brilliant. Yeah. And are you finding things are happening at a specific time on a specific day? You getting any patterns?
No, not really. Well, I would say it used to be a Sunday and a Friday, and now it's changed. And now it's just anytime. Daytime's more stuff that goes on. But whenever Andy comes in and he does his investigating with us, Martin comes into the room and I look really guilty, and he's thinking, oh my gosh, what's she been
What you
doing?
done now?
It's just because I spent more money than I should have done on some more equipment.
Yes, I do have
It's
that
just
problem.
too tempting. It's too
Yes,
tempting.
I know. As soon as Andy Guy says he's done another piece of kit, I complain loudly, very loudly. But then I just arrive at the stall if he's there and hand over my money, going, "Yeah, what the?"
Take it, take my wages.
Yeah, that's it. But I do have everything, and oh my gosh, I don't mean to, but my kit bag is now all Andy's stuff. Even the K2, the battery's gone, and I've just left that. Can't be bothered with it. And that's it. Hiya. So welcome everybody for joining us. If you've got any questions for Caroline, please go ahead. But at the moment, we're talking about kit, and there is a gentleman in the UK who's sort of gone into designing gadgets which basically pick up science-based changes. And also, you don't have to turn your phones off because, well, he says they don't interact with it. So this is a question, isn't it? Do they?
Well, if anybody wants to see any of his equipment and see what it's like, go on to Sire, SCIRE, and against all of the equipment, you'll see that there's videos, and it will give you a rundown of how to use the equipment, and it should give you a brief and tell you it's, the things that you need to look out for and the problems that you've got. I mean, a lot of people, when they see old versions of REM pods, they go, "It just went off." Well, hang on. Did it go off, or did a taxi just go by, or did you just use your walkie-talkie?
Walkie-talkie, yeah. Because a lot didn't even realise that the walkie-talkie actually caused issues. Like, the ghost hunting companies have got the REMs out, hadn't they? Used the walkie-talkie. Oh, look, there's a ghost. Well, you wouldn't say anything's a ghost. So this is one of the items which Andy has developed. So air pressure.
Like we were saying earlier, we're all on our journey, and my journey might be further along than some other people's, but it might not be as far along as others. But we're all on our path at the moment. So we all have to come to the conclusion that what we've learned is not working for us and moving on. So what K2s and cat balls, I think everybody started off maybe having some in their kit at some point. So don't feel guilty, but as I've moved on, if I go to somebody's house, I would probably take a really decent phone record, like a Zoom recorder, which is a professional piece of recording equipment you can get for a couple of £100. Maybe you can get a version 5 of the V5 for £150. and it's worth putting some money into that. And also getting just a notepad and pen with a few bits of choice equipment. So I would maybe have a light sensor that would go off for
Yeah,
movement, or an air flux kind of thing, so we can see an air pressure drop. So just a
yeah,
few bits of kit that I would normally go in quite raw into people's houses to investigate private cases.
yeah. But private cases are so different, aren't they?
Mm.
The
Yeah.
how would you deal with a private case then? What is your way of dealing with that? So everybody's got
Well,
their own theories on it, haven't they?
yeah. So obviously, I'm ASSAP trained, where I used to
Yes.
also be an ASSAP director. So, in case anybody doesn't know what ASSAP is, it's the Association for Scientific Studies into Anomalous Phenomena, and it's the sister association to the SPR. And up until recently, I've been an executive director there. So, I still would advocate that if anyone wants to join, £5 for an electronic membership, £20 for a paper copy, where you get magazines sent to you, and you get full use of all of their study papers on the website. You can click in and have a look at all of the information that's on there. So if you're unsure what orbs are light anomalies, rods, all that kind of thing, it will give you a broken down, detailed description of what it is, so that it can help with aid with your learning. And also, they do training courses a couple of times a year in face to face, and they also do them online. And they're very reasonable, they're affordable, because ASSAP's objective is for everybody to be ethically trained so that
Yeah.
they can all deal with these kind of issues when they come to us as investigators. So when I go into private cases, because obviously I come under ASSAP's guidance, I would be very ethical in my method. And
Yeah.
I interview people. So see what there is first of all. If it seems that there is a justifiable case to answer to, we'll make an appointment, and Martin and I make the first visit to go and speak to them direct and have a look around the house and take some more information. Sometimes there could be other reasons why people are seeing or experiencing things in the house, and we then have a safeguarding issue to their welfare to try to get them the right help that they need to resolve the problems. So for us in ASSAP, it's very different investigating that it might be for some other groups that there are in the country.
Yeah, but it is a massive responsibility. And it is, it can be bad that anybody can just go out, and unfortunately some groups will just see it as a ghost hunt, and it's not, and it's messing around with people's lives. And
Definitely. I mean,
it can scare them and
who
everything.
goes
It's
anyone who goes into their home and says you've got a D word or it's a bad spirit shouldn't be investigating people's homes. And if anybody is considering having someone to come into their home, um, please do not pay anybody to come in. ASAP and their investigators do not charge. The SPR do not charge. There is no fixed price that anybody would ask for you to pay. And also, if they say that they can get rid of it and it's really easy to do a house clearance, no,
no.
I think that they're just taking advantage of you, like Jackie said, for their own benefit to have an investigation.
Yeah, you do see the groups, and they're doing lives from people's houses. And it's disgusting, isn't it? It really
Mm,
is. And they'll advertise it. And like if a person has got an issue and it's scaring them, and they're
yeah,
coming out with something in an investigation, give them nightmares and potentially make an issue worse. If they haven't got a mental illness either, you've always got
yeah.
that one as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we've come across that one on a couple of occasions. But the worrying thing is, if people are being given this false information that this is what's going on in their house, they're going to be terrified. And
That's
living
right.
in a house that has anomalous phenomena is not an easy thing to live with, because you don't know when it's going to happen. It's not like your number 9 bus that's always going to happen at 3 minutes past 6 every night. It doesn't happen that way. It could be any time, and it could be something totally unexpected from one day to the next. Some houses do have a pattern of stuff, but like our house here, it's totally random. And you might get things that will happen in clusters, like spoons being thrown in the kitchen, that might happen for 2 to 3 months, and then it moves on, and then it's
Yeah.
voices for another 3 months.
Wow. So do you think well, there's going to be different spirits, I guess, isn't it? Or do you think there is just one or two, or what do
In
you
our
think's
house
happening in
here,
your house? Yeah,
I
because
think it's a
obviously it's
multiple, yeah, multiple things that's going on
right.
here, because
Okay.
we hear a man coughing like he's had a really bad chest infection. We smell cigarette smoke in a different room in the lounge. And then we hear a woman, and we even hear a dog barking. That was before
Oh
my dog
wow.
passed.
Oh, I
That was
see.
before the dog
Bless
passed.
you.
But we have, since our dog passed, only in the last week, I felt something like it jumped on the bed.
Brilliant.
And
Oh,
that's never ever happened in this house ever. And that, I don't mind that, because that's
that's
my dog.
beautiful. Yeah,
But,
that's
you
right.
know, have I felt something, or is that comfort? Have I woken up in the middle of the night and I'm having a hypnopompic hallucination?
Ugh.
But
It is
like
one
I
of
s
those.
like I say to clients, that if you're getting comfort from it, does it matter?
That's right. Like, I saw my dog straight away.
Mm.
It's really weird. I went over to my car, which is across the road, and I saw him walking by the side of the car along the wall. And it was really odd. I saw him, and then I was looking round for a cat or something when I realised he wasn't there. I thought, well, what did I see? Because I actually saw something, and no, no cat, no nothing, and it was
Of
weird.
all the ghosts that we wish to see, it would be our dog. So I think
Yeah.
Martin and I would be more than happy, if we saw a full visual of him. We have been looking for some footage, um, on the camera that Martin experienced, like the handle of the door was flicked down really hard. We did get that on camera, just the sound,
Wow.
because it was slightly off screen. But the visual that I went to go and look at before, you can hear the dog. Just before he died, he had this really raspy kind of thing, because
Oh,
he was so
bless you.
poorly, and you
Yeah.
can hear it. You can hear the noise, and it's like, oh, he is here, kind of thing, you know. I don't know if it is or if it's a fault with the camera. Who knows? But at that moment, it gave me a little bit of comfort. And then
Yeah.
I kind of snapped myself back into my scientific mode again and thought, did I really hear that in there? Or is that just pareidolia in the
Well,
recording?
yeah, but this is the thing, isn't it? Like, how many
Mm,
times do you hear things? How many times do you see things? And then your head comes in and you deny it.
yeah.
But things happen, don't they? And, automatically it's like, oh no, I didn't see that. Oh no,
But
my imagination.
the longer I've been in the job, the more skeptical I'm becoming, and the more that we question, and the more that we sit and methodically work through it. So, you know, I've not heard my dog with my own ears. I haven't heard that breathing with my own ears. So even though it's given me a little bit of comfort that maybe I did hear something on the recording, I'm also going, it's probably like a technical fault or pareidolia or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, which is, what a lot of people do, and I do as well, naturally.
Mm,
Like, even now I sort of say about the dog, it's like, well, did I see him? Well, I don't know, but it seemed convincing at the time. And I was
mhm.
definitely thinking, like, I was looking for something, when I realised it can't possibly be my dog, then, it must be a cat, where is it? And,
Yeah,
you are trying to sort things out, aren't you? Yeah, I think we do miss a lot. Um,
yeah.
I I've forever got things like falling. Like, I don't know why my tap keeps coming on. I guess it's a plumbing issue. But, you turn your tap off, clearly off, and then later on, like an hour later, I can hear it dripping. Well, is something done it, or is it, why is the tap off and all of a sudden it starts dripping and running, and it's not the boiler kicking in? I don't know,
Mm,
and you kind of, I need to ask the plumber. Yeah, and I will. I will ask the plumber in no uncertain terms
yeah.
because I do,
See,
I
on a
want a
Wednesday
reason.
night, I can go to bed, and around about 1 o'clock, my shower starts to pour. Now, I know why that happens now, because Martin
Right.
goes to running club, on
Ah,
a Wednesday, and he comes back from doing his 10K with his running club, eats his dinner, but before he does, sometimes he goes and has his shower. And because he's used his shower, it then makes mine drip about an hour later. I don't know why,
Wow.
but it doesn't do it any other night. It's always after he's had a shower when he comes home from running club. So maybe you've turned on another faucet somewhere that pushes it through.
Mm,
I'm not a
interesting.
plumber, but I've worked that one out
Yeah. Yeah.
just with the
Yeah.
shower.
Well, that's it. But I don't know. I just hear it dripping, I think, oh, and luckily it never floods,
No.
for any reason, but it's one of those, isn't it? How many times do you hear or see something because it's so quick you doubt what might have been something very important? And it's
Yeah.
true though, isn't it? And
But
your
it's the
head is
stuff that
always
you
spinning.
miss. It's like Fee said. We were with Fee at the weekend. Her and Vinny came
Oh,
down to
Glastonbury,
our
yeah.
the event that we run. We only run a couple every year, and it helps to pay for our insurance when we go to private
Mm,
cases, you see, because obviously I'm ethical and I don't charge. So we need to make some money, and a couple of times a year we let people come out with us and experience, events at some of our favorite places.
brilliant.
So we were talking about how I was looking for that handle being put down, and you can find stuff that you weren't looking for on another movement that set off the cameras, and then you listen to it and think, well, what set that off? And lo and behold, you find a voice of a man saying something like two long words, and it's like, huh? And you wouldn't have heard that if you weren't looking for the other thing.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of stuff that people do miss.
that's right. Did you get much happen at Glastonbury?
Yes. But
Brilliant.
it was weirdly active, particularly upstairs in some of the bedrooms. Um, yeah, so Fee and Vinny weren't in my group, they were in Martin's. But I think Martin told me that we'd used all of the activity up by the time they got into the active room. But yeah,
Oh,
it was
bless
very
her.
strange. They're in the room next to us, and the soundproofing in this place is incredible. So you don't hear anything from the pub downstairs, even though it's packed out, and you don't hear anything from the bedrooms next door. Very little. But
That's good.
I thought that the next door bedroom had opened up a cupboard, and they were doing something in the cupboard, which would have been adjoined to our
Okay.
bedroom's cupboard.
Yeah.
But I went in there to say, "My God, what were you doing in the cupboard? Were you kind of like moving around or something?" And they went, "We haven't got a cupboard." And then I looked around the room and I thought, "You haven't." So I
Wow.
have no idea what was knocking on the inside of our cupboard in our room.
Yeah, because like hotel rooms, you can get a bit of noise. Like if they have a party next door, it can be quite loud, can't it?
I don't know what you mean,
Really
Jackie.
disturb.
Just
I know
remember
not.
what happens in Sketchley Grange stays in Sketchley Grange.
It was good, wasn't it? It was a great night and would thoroughly recommend anyone to join in on the future. So was it an old building then with thick stone walls? Is that what it was
Yeah,
like?
to look from the outside, you wouldn't sit there and go, "Oh, wow, this is a beautiful building." It's built in 1717. It does have a lot of history. So, yes, to look from the outside, you would think that it is just, something fairly modern. So, nobody mentioned parties, Amanda. Our little
No.
hiding fairy that we have, she hides stuff, hide and seek at parties.
Yes, choose straws in
Yeah.
bags. Ugh.
Mhm. So, yeah, 1770, and the owner was so impressed with how it was run the other night that he's going to book in a couple of more. But if anybody in particular would like to book somewhere in Glastonbury that's got bed and breakfast for, I think you can get 10 people. It's 5 bedrooms, 4 doubles and a twin. And if you hire out the whole of the bedrooms, if we fill them out, then you get the full use of the pub after 11 o'clock as well.
Oh,
So
incredible,
and
yeah.
they leave us to it as well. So and we investigate 3 of their pubs, hotels, and places for them, because oddly They've got 3 in their brand, and all 3 are really haunted,
Brilliant.
allegedly.
Oh yeah, allegedly. But
Yeah.
I think once you really do believe, y- you find more, don't you, in a way? Hey,
So
Tony, welcome.
we have we've really got ourselves into the position where we're doing quite regular investigations for that brand. And in one of their hotel or pubs that they've got, I've done some history, and it's very dark, the history that's come out of it. Um,
Ooh.
so, but I'm not going to tell you too much because there is a magazine article that's going to be
Oh,
written about it.
okay. In
So,
a certain magazine. Are you going to
yeah,
mention the magazine?
for those that don't know, I write for Haunted Magazine, and also I can say my husband also writes for them now as well.
Absolutely
So,
awesome.
yeah, so I will be writing about this place. It's incredible. But the one that we went to on Friday night, Halloween, is called the Who'd Have Thought It?
Right.
And it's in Glastonbury. And I recommend, if anybody wants to go to a B&B and have a beautiful, luxurious weekend away and have all of that atmosphere and everything else that goes along with a 1770 building,
Oh, wow.
then that's the place to go.
Sounds incredible. But Glastonbury itself is special, isn't it?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I went, I was visiting Shepton Mallet, so obviously I nipped to Glastonbury as well. And yeah, the shops are fascinating, the building's historic. You've got the Abbey as well, you've got the Tour.
Mm.
It just feels so different there, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah.
And the people are beautiful, like there are a lot of spiritual people there as well, and it is
Hmm.
so fascinating.
Yeah,
Older
it is
worldly.
lovely. I'm not that far away. I think, on a good night with no traffic jams, will be 25-minute drive.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
lovely. It
Yeah. You
really
have to come and
is.
visit.
Oh gosh, yeah, definitely. I need to sort out next year what I'm doing, and my calendar's booking up already. I'm trying to keep it empty, but it's not happening.
Hmm.
That's what happens, isn't it? I think once you sort of start on the route of doing paranormal and you do start going out and meeting people, it's fascinating, isn't it? And,
Yeah,
showing
I'm
different areas.
very glad that I came along to the very first Parameet a couple of years ago now. And it because obviously when I deal with ASSAP, it's very academic kind of
Yes.
people that we would deal with, and also with the SPR, and that's fine. And I love having academic talks with people, but I think Neil's really hit the nail on the head with how he draws people into Parameet, and you've
Mm,
got different people with different beliefs all in under one roof. And you know what? You might think differently about spiritualism and your thought process about the paranormal world and what things could be to me. And then, Joe Bloggs next to me could think again. But we don't really go down the route of saying, well, I'm better than you or anything. There's
oh
no
God,
egos
no,
there. It's
no.
all, everybody's equal. We love hearing everybody else's thought process. I mean, how do we know everybody's right or wrong? Because
Don't have a
ghosts have not been proven to be factual or really in existence, have they? So how
no.
can we say anybody's got it right so far?
That's it. And so, what's your scariest encounter then?
Scariest encounter. It's got to be here in my own house, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Got to be in my own house. I was writing the poltergeist article for Haunted Mag,
Hmm.
and back in those kind of days. I said back in those kind of days, I mean, it was quite a while ago I wrote that one now. And I used to read a lot of the stuff to Martin if I wasn't quite sure. And I'd say, as you're listening to it, does that sound okay? Does it read okay? And I'd just bump it off him to see what he thought until I'd get the eye rolls, and it would just be like, God, here we go again. Heard this paragraph 16 million times now. Can we move on? So I think what was happening was when I was reading out all of the points of the poltergeist, odd stuff here in the house was happening, and it was doing the odd stuff in the points of poltergeist. So I had just been on crutches, and I left my crutches in the front room, came in to the kitchen to get my food and take my dinner back on a tray, eat it, finished, came back into the kitchen again. And all that time there was my washing. When I've sorted it out downstairs and I've ironed it, I put it over the top of the door and I leave it there till I go to bed, because the stairs are really steep in the house here because it's
Mm,
steep stairs. And
yeah.
I take everything up when I go up at night. So I'd gone past this a couple of times and it hadn't moved. And the dog was always my leader. He didn't know where the hell he was going, but he'd just go, I'll go first. I'll go first. I haven't got a clue where we're going, but I'm going first.
Yeah, they're
And
like that, aren't they?
had I knocked this jumper off the side, for a start, it was a really heavy winter jumper. So had I have knocked it off the side and it would have landed on him first, I'd have seen him walking through with the jumper over his back.
Yeah.
Um, Nothing. I didn't feel it attached to me. I've walked through so many times
Mm,
with jumpers over the door, and I've never even touched any of them in the entire years I've been doing it. So I walked through into the lounge, turned 180 degrees so I could sit in my chair, and then on the floor was the jumper. So it's really weird. Its arms were stretched out in the shape of a cross kind of thing. But where the
wow.
hanger would normally be, like up with the hook kind of
Yeah.
thing. Um, so the hook, the front of the collar, like, was this way with the hook and the jumper against the door behind hood, like hung up here. And when
Yeah.
it landed on the floor, the hook was down with the hook inside the jumper. So the hanger folded inside and it was face down on the floor. So somehow it had come off of the door like this and
Sort
turned
of turned.
that that way. So it had turned completely the wrong way and the hook had gone inside and tucked inside. And it was just that
Wow.
split second thought process. How the hell did that happen? And then thinking, did that apport? Did that fly through the air like Scooby Doo,
Mm,
get
interesting.
things on
Yeah.
strings? And it was that literally terrified me for quite a while, good few hours, because I was stood there thinking, I can't work out how it happened. Nothing on the camera, so it didn't it didn't get caught on the dog or anything. And I'm just sat there going, I don't get it. I don't understand. And I still don't understand how it did it. So yeah,
Yeah,
that wasn't fun.
you can ignore taps and bangs. I do. But something like that, which is like obviously difficult one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think for a couple of hours, I didn't even want to be in the house on my own. So yes, it's quite off-putting. But what would have frightened me most outside of this house? Oh gosh, I don't think. I mean, there are moments where you sit and you go, "Oh, it doesn't feel right in here," and
Yeah.
you can feel the hair stand up on the back of your neck. But obviously, being from that brain of working way of scientifically looking, I'll be going, "Oh, has
Yeah.
it got an EMF spike, or have we just dropped the temperature 5 degrees?" And I'll be asking all those
There's a
questions.
reason. Yeah, that's right.
I can't remember a time of being terrified anywhere. No.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Thank you. Andy says about 10 minutes ago, well, a bit longer now, when we spoke about taps being turned on, was listening to the clock ticking and thought it sounded strange. The kitchen tap was tripping in time with the clock. It's strange,
Wow.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how, yeah. Fiona asks, what is on the paranormal cards for you, Caroline, in 2026?
So I have 3 talks I have to give for Parameet next year. So and lucky you will get a new talk. So
Oh,
I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. I think I'm gonna throw an investigation one in there, ethically investigating, I think, because
yeah.
that way it will be nice for you guys to hear about that kind of stuff. I don't know. One of the talks will definitely be about my latest article that I've submitted into Haunted Magazine for the next issue. It's a long one, and
Wow.
it's something quite special, to be honest with you. I got into it a bit too much, and it's 3,151 words.
Wow. Incredible.
I know. I bet you Paul sat there going, "Oh my God, how are we going to cut this down without ruining the article?" But yeah, I can't even really tell you what it is because they like to announce it when it comes out. But
Yeah, that's right.
it's about hauntings as usual. So
Awesome.
I hope that you enjoy it. So there's those three talks. Next year, also, my business partner, Christian Lander, Martin Gibson, my husband, and I are looking at hiring a camper van and doing a road show going down the
Wow.
country. But we
Yeah.
are looking for sponsorship. If anybody wants to help to sponsor us to be able to afford a camper van, and we're going to be recording, digital stuff and trying to get at least six programs, documentary kind of style, focusing on things that are all paranormal down through the country as we go down, but doing daily podcasts and blogs and things as well.
Oh, that's fascinating. I've recently been to Rendlesham and Suffolk, and it is amazing what you can find in one area
Mm.
to go and look at, particularly Suffolk. Obviously you have got what happened with the Rendlesham, and I was actually camping in the forest there, which was brilliant. But I did go to near Lowestoft, and there's like loads of old churches there.
Yeah,
They're so stunning, and some have been reclaimed by nature, and sort of the energies in them. It's just fascinating and it's
I think
stunning.
Christian has put Rendlesham on our hotspots of
Ah,
places that we're looking at
beautiful.
going, because we are trying to bring more UFO stuff into our podcast that we run. The Seriously Strange one for
Yeah,
ASSAP we do on a Thursday night. But we're still in the process of getting our new podcast up and running as well, and that'd be more interview style and hot topics of the week.
oh,
So
brilliant.
that's called Unearthly Bureau. So that will be up and running in the next month. Yeah, looking
It's
forward to that.
fantastic. So, who's the most fascinating guest that you've spoken to on a podcast? It's putting it out there a little bit, but why not?
Do you know what? I had a mind-blowing conversation the other week. I don't want to name names because that's really
Yeah,
not fair.
yeah, it can be right. Yeah,
But because my scientific approach and also the rest of the team, we're all on our journey, Martin in particular and I are looking into quantum physics and
wow.
quantum
Yeah,
mechanics and things and seeing if we can find more things like that. So anything that gets me inspired to go and learn and read, yeah,
mm,
that's great. I also really like Eamon Van Harris, the way that he's dealing with trying to get EVPs through the old version of running, trying to pick up voice signals coming through old radios and things.
yeah,
And we're going to be hopefully trying to carry out an experiment together as well.
it's
But I'm
fantastic.
joining forces with a lot of different people. Marcus Louth, who runs the Anomaly project with my brain's just gone to mush at the moment. He interviewed me a little while ago. He's approached me and asked me would I get into an investigative research project with him from something that popped up from my conversation in an interview I had with him. So
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited about that, and it will be looking to see if we could find some kind of scientific process to look at mediumship.
interesting. Yeah, because there's so many like people say mediumship, but there's so many like people are so different in how they work, and
It's
not
going to be
none of it
bigger.
is. It's difficult to prove as well, isn't it?
It's, yeah, it's going to be bigger than just that, though. But we
Yeah.
want to know how some people get the messages come through, and there's a lot more. And I've only briefly had a conversation with him about it, so there's a lot more that I don't
Mm,
know that is going to be part of this project. But yeah, there's a lot next year. TV stuff. I even might even do some ghostwriting for somebody on their own personal book that they want to write about themselves. So
Wow,
I do
fascinating.
write under a fake name that none of you know as well. So
Brilliant.
yeah, so I might do that. I need to
Incredible.
bring the money in. Need to bring the money in. If anybody wants any ghostwriting done, just give us a call.
Oh, bless you. You've got so many talents, though, and it's good.
Mm.
It keeps you going, doesn't it? Keeps you
I
very
love
busy.
I love where I've gone with my journey in life because I don't just go, oh, I'm going to stop on that one and do that for the rest of my life.
Mm.
Um, I had the lovely Penny Morgan message me today
Oh,
and said, you really shouldn't have given up being a sports therapist because you're good at what you do. And I told somebody the diagnosis that you gave me on my shoulder, and they said that you're spot on. Well, okay. But, physically, I'm knackered nowadays. And to be a sports therapist, especially for horses as well, you need a lot of physical
yeah,
activity. And yeah, it's hard, really hard work. And I still would treat people as a friend thing to do, obviously, but
yeah.
it's just too much for me.
Yeah, that
I'm
horse therapy is,
old,
like all
old
weathers,
bird now.
everything.
I'm
God,
old.
well, I feel it. Well, I am. But yeah, it makes a difference in winter, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But like I do an investigation, like News to Derby, loads of steps. Wow, feel it when I get home.
I
Sort of my
know.
next
I was
day.
trying to
It's,
get up the stairs the other day on Friday night with about 20 cases strapped on me like I was a donkey.
oh, ouch.
And
Yeah.
the legs, the thighs, I thought, God, I need to work out harder when I go to swimming because my legs
Oh,
were just
bless
going,
you.
oh, buckling under the weight of the kit.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there sort of any sort of interesting outside locations near you?
Um, to be honest, we don't really do outside locations
Yeah.
anymore because we're so busy looking at private cases. And also, I get commissioned to write magazine articles for people's businesses.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So, like the Museum of East Dorset, I was asked to go in and write one for them. And, I'm going to be doing one on Shire Hall, hopefully, and a Dorchester tea room, which is really old. It
Brilliant.
goes back to like 1500s. So I don't get to play outside as much. Plus, I'm old and everything hurts, and it gets windy and it gets rainy, and I
Yeah.
moan. So yeah, but one of the best ones I've ever been to is an old church. I don't exactly know where it is. I think it was on like a Shepton Mallet back road,
Okay.
and it's not called Nunny Castle, but I'll remember it. If I can remember it, we can
Yeah.
update it onto the chat later. Um, so as we were up there, this is with the group that I used to be with previously. I have quite good hearing, and sometimes I hear different frequencies, I'm guessing, than other people because they can all sit there and not hear anything. And then I would play the recording back, and you can hear what I said I've heard.
Wow.
And we were at this place, and we had what sounded like horses' hooves and a cart, proper
Gosh.
carriage
Yeah.
going through on gravel. You could hear it going, and then when we played it back, it wasn't just an anomaly. You could actually hear it, even the horse going, kind of thing. So
Oh, beautiful. Was it actually on
yeah,
gravel?
no,
What?
it's just all grass. It's just a
It was
total.
all
It's like
grass.
a ruin.
Oh, wow. Did you check into it?
Yeah, I mean, when it used to be a nunnery back then in the
Oh,
olden
it's
days,
unreal.
and it was, yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
in that
Wow.
position. But yeah, so that one was nice.
Yeah.
Also, Glastonbury tour. We've been up to the tour after sundown. I think it wasn't the longest night or anything, but it was around summer solstice time. And yeah, you can hear things up there that make you go, was that just the wind? So if you want to go for, like that feeling of woo kind of thing,
Yeah.
Glastonbury tour after dark is something special as well.
Yeah. It does feel special anyway. Just going
Mm,
there. Just something totally incredible about it. Maybe because it's got the reputation. I don't know.
mm.
Or maybe it is special. But it's one of those, isn't it? So, have you been abroad investigating anywhere?
Um, Not on an official investigation, but we went to Turkey a couple of years ago, and there's a place called the Ghost Town, and obviously it's not necessarily meaning that it's full of
Yeah.
phantoms, but it was way, way back, I think in the 30s, 40s, when they moved the whole of the village out and they left it as it is. So they're still washing on some of the
Hmm.
lines, and it's obviously fallen
Okay.
into disrepair. And that was nice just to wander around and then stand in the old areas that you thought something might have, been in, and
Yeah.
call out and use your phone as a recorder. But it was an experience, but we didn't see or catch anything.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is interesting to sort of get out and about though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Definitely.
that was interesting.
You have these like you just find things like hidden, hidden gems everywhere, don't you? And
Mm.
yeah. So, what else do you do then? You do writing?
Yeah, writing work for TV companies at the moment. So true crime documentaries. We're looking into research and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all very interesting.
Oh, that's
Fiona
brilliant.
said she
Yeah,
left it.
that
She left her washing
for a day and
up.
that was bad.
Yeah, 60 plus years.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe that was just left for washing out. That's
I
weird.
think. Yeah, I know. And it's like, I don't know if anyone's gone up there purposely to try to make it feel more atmospheric or something. But yeah, on a couple of the houses that have gone into rack and ruins, I mean, it's literally in ruins. Then there's a washing line with a sheet on one of them.
Hmm. Did
Mm.
they have to leave suddenly? Was it like an
Yeah,
earthquake or some flood or something?
no, I think they were ordered out by the government that they had to leave
Oh,
for some
okay.
reason. I will find out the information and share that if anybody wants it. But when
Yeah,
I've researched something, if I'm not dealing with it on a permanent basis, I just dismiss that information from my head. So,
that's right. Because you do a lot of research and you don't want everything in your head, do you?
oh God, there's no room for all of it. Some of it,
That's
the
right.
most important stuff that I'm working on now, I'll remember, but the finer details go.
Well,
So,
that's right. Yeah. But that's it. We're just taking so much day on day, don't we? We don't remember
mm,
everything. It just gets too much.
yeah.
So, are you doing any other sort of commitments next year? So you're speaking at 3 events. Have you got anything
So,
else
yeah,
lined
I
up?
forgot. Yeah, I've got the ASSAP conference that I'll be talking at in September as well. So that's three for Parameet, one online, two live in, I think it's two next year, isn't it? Is
It's
it
one,
June?
but
Is it only
but
one?
it's one, but he's touring as well. So it's a
Yeah.
road show, so I'm not quite sure where the road show is going. So there
Okay.
is the
So
main one on solstice, but
yeah,
then there
that,
are other ones scattered about, so it's yet to
yeah.
reveal.
So then I've also got the late, or I'm sure it's late August, isn't it? Yeah, the late August one for ASAP. If anybody wanted to come along to that, it's very different than it would be. I think the speakers have half an hour, and then you get the next one on. So it's very fast turnover,
Yeah.
but it's good. It's very good,
Yeah,
and
and
you can
it's
dip in
academic
and
as
out for the
well,
ones.
which
Mm,
is a different way of thinking, isn't it? Like, I think within the paranormal, you sort of get into a rut of doing things the same. And this is where
yeah,
I've got now, or it's people around you, and I'm just questioning things now. I think all of a sudden, I think it was the other day, it's like, well, why am I doing this? Like, I know that might change colour. I know that, and I need to change things. I don't know. I was doing a ghost club. I sort of run a club in a local pub, and do Dyson rods and pendulums. I was getting some
mm.
hits on a pendulum. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I should be doing that again more now. And it's
Well, one of the girls wanted to do the pendulum and dowsing rods in our group. And of course, it's the same as with a Ouija board, the minute little
there
nerve
is that,
impulses through your
yeah,
finger. It's the ID
yeah,
meter effect. I mean, if you want to do this, as long as you can actually quantify it and try and make it into a scientific experiment. So
yes,
have the same repeatable questions that everybody does. So there's a
Yeah.
group of 7 of you, perhaps. All 7 of you ask the same question at the same time, write your answers down privately and share them at the end. So that's obviously measurable because you're
Yeah.
then all doing the same questions. One person asks the same questions out for everybody. And then it's repeatable. So if you have those questions on a laminate card, you can do them again and again and see if you can repeat them the next time you go back to that venue. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm trying to do, just so that, especially for events, because there are still some members of the public who want to come and be involved with doing stuff rather than sitting and watching. So
Yeah.
I say, I don't hold any scientific value in it, but if you would like to do the pendulums or the dowsing rods, we can do it this way. And as long as you know that it could be the ideometer effect
Yeah,
that's
that's
affecting
right.
the result. And they say, yeah, brilliant, let's do that. And I go, okay, you've paid your money for it, so
Yeah, that's
let's do it.
right.
And do you know, we have had some good results where a lot of them, they've got the same answers. I know that it's yes and no, but on
Yeah.
multiple choice, do you get more yeses than you get nos?
Mm.
So yeah, it's
Probability
fun. It's
comes
fun
into
for
it.
them. So if you want to do the dowsing rods, just
Yeah.
try and make it into something that's repeatable, and try and make it as scientific as you can.
Yeah, well, this was one gentleman asking the person with the dowsing rods the name of his mother or something. He asked a question he knew the answer to, and I asked him to say 3 names. One was the correct name and 2 were false names.
Mm.
And I asked the person on the rods, to sort of do the yes, no, and they got it right. So the false names, no, and the correct name, yeah. But how is get the person people didn't know each other,
Mm.
but that was just a brief bit, like you've got to go more into depth than that.
Yeah,
But it
and have
just
some controlled answers that that the answer for. And
yeah.
Andy Guy has done a pack of stuff that he sells, because you'll love this new pack that we've been
Mhm.
trialing. It's got some Xena cards in it, so you pick up a Xena card, and one of your
Yeah.
control is this an orange circle? And oddly, Andy, if you're watching this, when we were at Glastonbury on Friday, nobody got the black triangle wrong either, because he said in the entire time he's been doing this experiment with the control, is this a black triangle? Nobody's ever got that one wrong, ever.
That's strange.
I know, it's really, really strange.
But it's an
But
easy one to describe compared to some of them.
yeah, definitely. But going back to your dowsing rods, if I was putting an event on for members of the public and they wanted to do dowsing rods because they specifically asked for it, I would pick a Xena card, put it up onto the mantelpiece in the room, or on an area away, and put the rest of the cards next to it, and then put a table with the rest of the Xena cards and tell them that they've got to find the one that's been picked out of the pack.
Identical. Yeah.
And then we mark down what they say that their dowsing rods have told them. Like I say, it's not scientific. I've got no scientific value that I place within the experiments, but
Yeah.
it's entertainment value for people who come in to the
That's
event.
right. They do want to do something like the flashy lights, don't they? Like I do
Yeah,
public events. You've got people who experience, you've got people with that who haven't, and people are there just for a laugh. And you've got to cater for everybody. And we do try and sort of let people sort of go off more with the experience, and they sort of
yeah.
worked, and we sort of mix it as well. But yeah,
I
it's
didn't see one K2 on Friday, which was nice.
oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. I've just seen somebody tried to share on my page. It's like, oh, the K2 is going to red. I thought, yeah, where's your camera? The
Mm.
camera. Yes. I don't know, but yeah, you see so many sort of use it wrongly, don't you? And it's yeah,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of problem with any kit. As long as you know what the failings are,
that's
then
right.
you know that you can say, well, okay, that went off, but you've just been trying to make a phone call home. So you
Yeah,
know that the K2's gone off because of that. People recording stuff on their phone going, look, that's an orb. And I really try hard not to roll my eyes into the
I
back
did.
of my
I
head.
did. I just did
Yeah,
automatically. Yeah.
And I just tapped the person on the shoulder and just said, no, that's dust. If you'd like a bit more of a fuller explanation of camera anomalies, please let me know. I can direct you to the ASSAP page that can help. And I just
Yeah.
left it like that. But it's just like, normally, oh, look, you can see a face in it. Oh,
Oh, no, not that
okay.
chestnut. Oh,
Yeah.
look, 2 eyes, yay! Oh, don't start on the wallpaper or the curtain. Eek. But yeah, the trees are good ones, aren't they?
Mm.
They've always got a face in them. But yeah, and it is hard because some people just want it to be paranormal, but they're so like thinking everything is. They're not actually saying, experiencing what really is happening, are they?
Yeah, I
It's
know.
just too.
Like I say, we're all on our own journey, though, aren't we? If they can
Well,
see
that's
it's done a
right.
different way.
If they're happy with the dust being their auntie or whatever, that's all good.
Mm.
If it gives them comfort, doesn't it? You know. But not around me though. But have you sort of ever thought about going to the US or anywhere?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a good few things that I'd like to do. So one of the people that I've become quite good friends with over the years, he's an incredible font of knowledge from America, is Randy Liebig.
Right.
And if anybody hasn't heard of him, go and have a look, on some of the stuff that he's got a background in. He currently works for the SPR for their spontaneous cases committee, and he's the American SPR case manager for anything that comes in over there as well. So we're looking at going to New Orleans. It's on my hit list of
Oh
places to
wow.
go. And he is going to hopefully meet up with us next year. We're not filming for the documentaries or anything, and see if we can get a visit out to see Randy and go to the Parisian Quarter.
Yeah.
So that will be really interesting. But it's mainly, rather than ghosts, for me, it's about the architecture of the buildings, and they're
Yeah,
just
it's
beautiful,
fascinating. Yeah.
absolutely stunning. Martin's going for the blues music, and I'm going for the architecture.
Yeah, but it's just a totally different culture out there, isn't it?
Yeah,
And you've got all the sort of the history and sort of the voodoo side and tales and
yeah.
everything. It is fascinating.
That's the thing. It's so vastly different because of religious beliefs and
Yeah,
um, the things that you base your information on in America is very vastly different than it is here. Um, Obviously, you have a lot more religion-based information that's pushed forward through hauntings out there, and the D word is quite wide and prevalent with some of the people who are into paranormal. But if you go down to the old, part of America down through New Orleans, you
mm,
have the juju and the voodoo and
yeah,
things like that. So it will be a vast learning experience for me going and researching firsthand some of the stories that's been told and some of the history that goes behind all of that religious belief. Do you know that it's still actually happening in some parts of the world where they believe in voodoo and juju?
yeah. I actually met Bloody Mary at a Paracon. She's actually in New Orleans, and she did a ritual for us, which was interesting. Also showed
Mhm.
us how to make voodoo dolls, and it wasn't like how people sort of perceive them to be.
Yeah.
They weren't nasty, It was about good things as well. So it's just totally different like idea from what they're perceived to be.
Yeah, there's a book. I'm sure it's, oh gosh, is it Brian Hoggart that he deals with all of the stuff that protects your house and the markings and things that you can have. I'm sure it's Brian Hoggart. But he was talking about little dolls that were put in for protection in the
Yeah,
walls of houses and things as well.
yeah,
Didn't they call them poppets that they were made for
sure.
good luck?
Yeah, but these, you sort of make your own, use a bit of your hair, do this, that, and just give them a gift.
Mm.
Put them somewhere and just give them a gift all the time, and that was
Are you going
lovely,
to have a table at the next Parameet and sell your wares?
I'm shocking at making anything. I'm rubbish. Couldn't do that. Dear me, they'd look awful. Yeah, you just get some sticks and some grass and, some natural things, a bit of string, there you go. And
Excellent.
yeah, but not what mine would look like string and twigs. Some people could
Yeah.
actually make that look like something, not me. But yeah.
Well, I can see a comment that Vinny put, very
Oh,
talented. I wouldn't be making anything like that, I don't think.
you've got to
So,
have a knack though, haven't you? People can either do sort of things like that, art, craft, have the imagination. I haven't,
mm,
and everyone's got the different skills, and that's what happens about investigating because you all bring something different to the table, don't you?
yeah, definitely.
Even
Yeah.
if it's
I
just
mean,
energy on my part, but
we've done little mini vigils, haven't we, when we've come to Parameet and we've gone off into
yes,
other like Haprick. So, and we worked well. We'd all had our
yeah,
little places and our ideas that we brought. And I think it was nice just seeing different people in different circumstances, wasn't it, working together?
that right. It was quite a different experience, wasn't it? Yeah, and
Mm.
we did work very well together, and we certainly built up the energy, didn't we?
And I think we've also built a bond for life with that little group, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah,
But what happens in
definitely.
Parameet stays in Parameet.
Yeah, we just did a bit of an investigation, and it was quite
I don't think I've seen anybody have, what was it that Amanda, she does? Was it
trans
where she
trans.
I've not seen
Yeah,
that before.
yeah,
And watching that firsthand is an experience.
yeah. I've seen Barry, I've seen Amanda, and I've seen my friend Patricia do it properly, and it is
Hmm.
fascinating. Um, I think like when I first started going out on ghost hunts, 2003, they were doing it, and it was just a load of rubbish, and that kind of put me off mediumship because that was my
Mm.
first encounter of mediumship, and there they are waving their arms, and it really was bad. They're trying to go for an Oscar with it, and
Yeah, I've
it
seen
did put
people
me
on
off.
platform before when I started my journey into trying to find answers. And the people on platform were very understated and they weren't animated, very quiet, and it would just be the voice that was projected.
Yeah,
So it was very, very different seeing Amanda work than what
yeah,
I'd
that's
already
right.
experienced. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I know Amanda's here watching. It was kind of a little bit frightening, to see how animated it was in a
Yeah,
small room.
the physicality of it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yes, it's definitely an eye opener experiencing different beliefs within the group. Yeah.
yeah. But then sort of went back to the hotel, and I got something happen there, which was strange.
Mm,
I went to the bar, I ordered a pint, and the guy behind the bar, he just put it down on the bar, but it was as if he'd thrown it down because about the eighth of the top of the pint just jumped out. And he was
rude.
like looking at his hand, thinking, as it slipped, it's like he'd just gone like that on the bar and thumped
Mm.
it down, but he hadn't. He'd placed it on the bar and it just shot out the top. And that did my head in as well. I don't know what
Mm.
happened there. But yeah, we had an intense time, and whether something lingered
Yeah.
with us for a moment, and yeah,
And I've never known anybody else to experience smelling the smells at
yes,
different times in different rooms.
I've
And
never
we all
experienced that smell before. To be fair,
no,
not
I
in that context.
yeah, we weren't all in the same room. So before anybody says, did anybody break wind? No.
No,
It happened to individual
and
people
different
in
people
different
were
rooms.
there as well. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think there was about 16 of us, and I think it was that smell was going on in 4 different locations, wasn't it?
yeah, that's right. It kind of like as I was sort of leaving the building, like I'd walk into a room, it were there, but by then most of you were out there, and you had it in a car as well, and different
Yeah,
people were picking up on that, and it's like
I know.
I don't know what happened
That's
that
one of
night, but
the things that I'm scratching my head. How if right, I'm not saying anybody did fake it, but if anybody did fake the smell somehow, how did it get in our car on the way
mm,
back as well? and it's exactly the same. Nobody broke wind. It wasn't a mistakable smell. It was pure. I know sulfur doesn't have a smell, but it was the smell that you would think of, like a
Rotten
those
eggs.
things that you throw on the floor when you
Yeah,
break
that's
them,
it.
a
Yeah,
stink bomb
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, that's right.
It's that strong, and it's just like, well, how on earth did we get that in the car?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's very bizarre. All of us, five of us, smelt it, and
yeah. It was so crazy. It's kind of like, that week we were kind of thrown together, weren't we? And I
I've
don't
never
know what
met you in
happened.
person. Yeah,
No.
I've never met you. We'd spoken online, and Amanda and I had spoken just by liking each other's Facebook posts, and then we sat with each other in the outside bar, didn't we? And
Yeah, so at the beginning of the Parameet, people just go out, they have the meet up, sort of go outside, have a drink, and we said, "Oh, do you want to sit with us?" I thought, "Oh, okay then." I thought, "Oh, I don't really know her, how we
right,
do
quite a bit
now,
of us
don't
been.
we?" The rest is history. But yeah, but
Yeah,
we just hit it off, haven't we? A group of us, and yeah,
I think so.
it is
Yeah,
fascinating. And
friends for
yeah,
life. Yeah,
and we've got those memories, and yeah, and nobody can take those away from us, and yeah, and yeah, the Parameets have been brilliant, haven't they?
yeah, and he's doing something a little bit different again this time, isn't it? With the awards,
Yes.
they're switching up now as well.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be another exciting time to experience. I don't know if it's going to be karaoke, but I'm only going for the karaoke. That's it.
I
Nothing
don't
else.
know if there is karaoke. I don't think
Oh,
so.
well, Fee
I
and I
don't
will
know.
definitely be having our own karaoke, I think.
Ah, your room then.
Not after the last time.
No. What stays at home twist, yeah. But, yeah, but yeah, like we spend all our time sort of going into room, investigating, we meet different people, we don't get to talk. But the
Mm,
thing is, when you go to a conference, it is your chance to go and talk, isn't it?
yeah,
And you can socialise, you have a drink, and you sort of get to know person as well. And like we don't know what people do as a job. We don't know if they've got family. We don't know if they've got pets. Because
hmm,
people don't always post everything on Facebook. Not
no,
paranormal. They've got the groups, and you just post things like that in it, and you don't hear about sort of day-to-day things, do you? And you just
no.
find that you've got other things in common and stuff, and it's fascinating.
I
And
think I was very surprised by a few people who were at the Parameet, the first one, so the June one last year,
yeah,
and is it Helena's daughter is Emily, isn't it? And hearing all about the degree that she's doing and things into
yes,
psychology. Hi, by the way, Emily. Um, so you find out all this information. You think, well, what's brought you on your journey here? And
yeah.
it's nice hearing how people have developed and how they've come on their own journey as well.
That's right. Like Alex did the first time at Haunted Antiques doing an evening, I think,
Hmm.
at the weekend, and that's the first one they've done. So that was good, nice to see.
Yeah.
Alex was there that night when yeah, we investigated. So yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a question now. Have you watched that new paranormal show that's for entertainment purposes on BBC One?
No.
Yeah, so I didn't really watch them in the comedy program that they're in, just the odd one. So I know the humor of the brother and sister setup kind of thing.
All right. Okay.
And it's purely just for tongue-in-cheek entertainment with a little bit of touching on the paranormal. But obviously, it's not scientifically based, and it's just more about their stories of when they were in childhood. But talking about people that we've met at Parameet, in
Yes.
episode 2, we have our lovely Victoria and
Victoria.
Helena and
You can't call it
Emily.
Victoria.
Yeah,
It's Vicky.
Victoria. Yes,
I
Vicky.
called her Victoria. And she says, "What are you calling her Sunday name for?" Vicky,
Yes.
yeah.
So Vicky was, I think she's had Helena and Emily, and I'm not sure who else was on it, as well. There was a gentleman and another lady, I think, as well. So yeah,
I
it's nice to
definitely
see
need to watch it.
faces that you know. Yeah, you can watch it on catch up on BBC.
Oh yeah, well, I've just had an internet issue, so I've not really had a chance to watch a lot on TV, and I'm
Mm,
busy a lot of the time. So yeah, I will sort of watch it all on catch up one night. That's what I tend to do. You just sit there and then you've got 6 hours gone, but things happen.
mhm.
Usually during the 6 hours, I'm doing something else as well. But yeah, I do definitely need to watch it. Like when I
So
watched Uncanny, I just watched it quickly.
we haven't had a catch up about your holiday, your breakaway to Rendlesham. Did you
Yeah.
catch anything? Tell us.
Mm. Well, not really, but there's one specific night.
Mm. Hmm.
So it's a campsite in the clearing in the woods in the Rendlesham, and I was fine. And then one night I wasn't kind of happy. I felt a bit uncomfortable, let's say. Like I'm used to going lone camping. I go around Scotland. I've been on campsites on my own. I've just been the only tent on there with the dog. Never had a problem wherever I've been. I've been up to Glencoe. I've been on Skye. Me in a tent, fine. I don't know. I just felt a bit apprehensive that night. And then the dog, I tried to get him to go out the tent for a wee, and he wouldn't. He just wouldn't get up and go. And I spoke to the people next door the next day, and their dog went running across the field and went a bit ape, sort of
Oh,
barking, and it sounded a bit funny. I'm thinking maybe it's chasing a rabbit. Oh, the weirdest thing as well. I'll carry on with this bit. But when I spoke to them the next day, they saw that on the field they saw a light. For some
okay.
reason, there's a light shining, and that's kind of where the dog headed to.
Mm,
But they kind of walked over there and were kind of wondering if it was the moon on sort of stones or not. But it's
mm.
just like a little orb sort of thing they saw. But it's just weird how my dog didn't want to go out. I thought I'm going to lock the tent up. I'm not here, like got my little enclosed thing. I can't see anything. And yeah, I was actually worried that night. But then for the neighbours to feel, apprehensive as well is a bit weird.
And of course, to add to the atmosphere, it was very bad storms over those couple of days, wasn't it, as well?
Well, I was there for a week, so it's when I first arrived. But it wasn't bad. I was in the woods, so you're kind of
But
more
that
protected.
terrified me when you told me, and I was texting you the next day. Are you alive? Did a tree fall on you? Tell me you're alive.
Yeah, but you've got clearing, and you
Okay,
think
you
like
didn't tell me that bit.
you've got all the fir trees, haven't you? Pine trees, whatever. But they're
Unfortunately,
all
they've
like,
got very small roots, fir trees.
yeah, well, unless you're going to get a dominoes effect for quite a few miles, you're kind of going to
Okay,
be all right.
okay.
It is a huge forest, and it
Mm,
is fascinating. But I made a couple of attempts to go and see the spaceship. Okay, so they sort of say it's a three-mile route, but I thought, well, I had a word at the campsite. Let's go. Oh, just up there, then it's across. Well, yeah, okay, we'll go. So I gave myself about an hour, about half an hour. Put it on my sat nav, and it just seemed like another 30 minutes to get there. I thought, well, by the time I get back, it's going to be dark. But as I was walking through the woods and it's kind of getting dark, it got really the energy was changing. It was like coming alive around me,
mm,
and yeah, it is different in the forest in the darkness. Like
yeah.
if you go to any woods, it does feel different. I'm not on about it being scary in the dark. It just feels like it kind of comes alive somehow, and it
Hmm.
was so different there. But I can't quantify anything. I can't say anything's paranormal. I also went to a lot of the old air bases.
Mm.
So if you get a chance to go to an air base, they open on a Sunday. So
Okay.
for a small window, like Rougham Control Tower, places like that,
Mm.
they're not open that often. And it's worth looking around just to. Oh yeah, and I was sort of going around one of those, and oh God, I felt really dizzy when I went into one of them. And then I was picking up a pain of something as well. And I do tend to pick up on pains of things, but it's not psychosomatic. You just get a headache and think, oh, that's why. You don't think, oh, this is a war, and or
Yeah.
yeah. But there are some incredible places. I found some pillboxes as well near Lowestoft. They were interesting. The church
Mm.
is beautiful. Well, some have like gone into disrepair, but absolutely stunning.
So it might have some stop-off points then if we're going down the
Oh,
Rendlesham.
definitely. I'll show you
Mm.
a church you need to go to. It's now there's a story that basically it's a story about a witch, and basically something happened to the witch, and then a tree grew from where she died, and this is right
Okay.
in the centre of a church. But the
Mhm.
church is like it's like the forest just like taking it over, and it's covered in green as well, green moss, and
Mm.
it was just lovely in there. Yeah, something special about visitors from outer space that scares me. I know it's just like I was a little bit concerned, like because as you ask around and try and find out more about the story, it seems very credible because the people
Yeah,
who
there was
work
a
for the
lot of
military,
witnesses. Yeah.
you know, you can't really ruin your career and lie, can you?
No, and there was too many other people who all experienced the things at the same time. So,
That's right.
multiple witnesses, which gives it credibility, especially when they are in one of these jobs that they are deemed to be a credible witness as well.
That's it. Especially if it's like sworn on the Official Secrets Act, and uh, I'm, I am fascinated by it. I am glad I went. Um,
Hmm.
I wished I hadn't gone on my own because I wished I could have investigated with somebody.
Mm.
There is a concern that there is a car park right near to the campsite. And quite frankly, when you get car parks, you don't know who's going to be hanging around or what they're going to be doing in them. So if you go to a lot of locations like which are in the middle of nowhere, you get a car park, and yeah, you don't go around flashing your lights. Put it that way. But it was a bit concerning from that perspective as well. And I didn't kind of want to walk in the forest on my own from a safety perspective.
Well, maybe you can organise a paranormal path revisit and have other people go with you as a
Yeah,
group.
that's right. Now I did meet Wayne Seaton.
Oh,
I've
okay.
got Yeah, so I got him to take me to the place and show me where it actually landed or was said to have landed. And that was
Mm.
great. I filmed a 15-minute chat there.
Hmm.
So his daughter was looking after my dog while we were just like leaning against it and like just doing a impromptu interview. So that was brilliant. He is so knowledgeable. Oh, and yes, we've got to go because he is about to go live on Top Mirror Show, and
Oh,
we've
okay.
overrun. Whoops! But I want to thank everybody for listening, and look after yourselves, won't you, everybody? And thank you so much for your time, Caroline.
You're
It's
very
been
welcome. I've
brilliant.
enjoyed it.
And
Thank you all for
yeah,
coming.
thank you so much, and take care. Goodbye, everyone. Look
Bye.
after yourselves. Bye.